Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Horror by Scary Mary. I know it's been a while and I've actually filmed quite a few videos, but just never got to get it on this channel, and I look like crap right now because it's late at night and I should be going to bed because I'm getting to work early in the morning. But I just didn't have enough space on my storage to edit and all that, the old videos, but I'm just gonna try to make this short so I can get this video up to you guys. But of course, I'm going to be talking about Scream. That's mainly my stuff nowadays, my little shtick. But we all been hearing the rumors about casting, about Sydney's daughter, this and that for a while. It was um, Miss McKenna Grace that was rumored to be Miss Cindy's daughter, or yeah. So it was rumored that Mackenzie Grace was going to be Neve Campbell's daughter in the movie, and now it is a girl named Isabella May. And I don't know much about Isabella May's, background or what shows she's been in. And let me know in the comments below what she's been in, and I'll probably look it up as well. But since I don't know Isabella May that much, but I have seen pictures, and she's a pretty girl, I like her. She, looking at the picture, she does look like Neve Campbell in that sense, if you really look at the both of them side by side. But I prefer McKenna Grace, in my opinion. And comment down below who you would think would be the better fit, McKenna Grace or Isabella May. So it sounds like it's more confirmed that Isabella May is going to be the daughter. But like I said, I would prefer McKenna Grace just because I kind of have a soft spot for McKenna Grace because I think that she's an amazing little actress and can do anything. She can do comedy, with young Sheldon. She can do drama with that movie Wonder with Chris Evans, and then of course horror with Annabelle Comes Home, and then also kind of sci-fi with Ghostbusters. But anyways, this Isabella May, like I said, I don't know much of hers, or if I've seen her in something, I just I'm not saying that she's a bad actress or anything like that. It's just I'm not saying that she's not memorable. It's just I am the kind of person that if I watch something and I like it, I watch that same thing over and over again. I'm definitely one to watch and rewatch my favorites. So if I'm going to watch something new and I do like it, I rewatch it. But if it's one that doesn't catch my eye or catch my fancy, then and I don't rewatch it, then I just watch it the one time and I don't remember who's in that or whatever. But anyway, and another reason why I think that McKenna Grace would be a better fit, in my opinion, is that she is 18, so she's an adult now, but she also has that younger face. Not saying that Isabel May it looks older. She is 24. She was born in 2000, but it just seems like she. Again, I'm not saying she looks old, like she's in her 30s or 40s or anything like that. She definitely looks like she's in her 20s, and that's what her age is. And not saying that McKenna Grace looks, really young, like a baby or anything like that, but McKenna Grace is still 18, like she's 18 now, almost 19 or whatever. So McKenna Grace is in that period to where she could still play a high schooler if need be, but then again, she can also play a young college girl because she's 18 now, almost 19. So McKenna Grace can play that either teenager role or that just in college girl, you know? Whereas you can't really say that for Isabella. Again, not saying Isabella looks old or anything like that, but um it's just I think that with the story wise, because in my head it makes sense to go with the younger daughter than the slightly older daughter. See how I say slightly older daughter? Because if we're going to go the route with Isabella May and have her be a little bit older and have her be about the time that um, after like Scream 3, after after we know, or at least everyone else knows, like, yeah, sure, Sydney's married to Mark, but we all are assuming, and I'm sure it is Mark Kincaid from Scream 3, but I'm not 100% sure it's him. But like, I know it's him, but it's like it could be any Mark. It could be any Mark. Like, if they were together since Scream 3, why wasn't he in Scream 4? And speaking of that, there was a good, and I said this in past videos, that there is a big gap between Scream 3 and Scream 4, like 10, 11 years. So if they were dating or were together after Scream 3, where was he and their kids in Scream 4? Not even mentioned. Not even mentioned once during Scream 4. Especially with, at least not, again, Scream 4, I've said this in the past, at first was not my favorite Scream film at all. Like, I didn't, like, I liked that it was starting to be meta and that it's trying new things and things like that, but I will admit that Scream 4 was not my favorite for the longest time. And still, it is one of my least favorites of the Scream franchise, but as the time goes by and as time goes on and I've watched it more, I have started to like it a lot more. And with Scream 5 and 6 out, I again have grown to love Scream 4 more. But again, where was Mark and their kids in Scream 4? Like, hello? Are you alive? And especially with how old Sydney's daughter, Isabella May, is supposed to be, it would make sense that they would be together and get married and have kids pretty much as soon as Scream 3 ended. And yet, 10, 11 years later, when Scream 4 and Sydney comes back and she goes back to her hometown to do her book tour at the end, like at the end of her book tour, hello, where are your husband and kids, Sydney? No mention at all. And then there was like the time jump from Scream 4 and then Scream 5, and that's another 10, 11 years, 12 years there, because you're going from 2011 to 2022. Like, hello. If at all, if you're going to have kids in between then, between Scream 4 and Scream 5, and we saw the little kids, Sydney pushing the stroller when she was, answering the phone from Dewey, and they were in the stroller, and then she was mentioning that, oh, well, the slightly girls, they're getting ready for school. And that made it sound and assume that her other kids, not the kids that were in the stroller, were slightly older. It's like, and if they're going to ignore Scream 4, that's fine. And then just have it go straight after 3, that's fine. But I'm just trying to make it make sense if they were still including 4. And I'm assuming they are, because, hello, they are. They made Scream 4. Scream 4 exists. And I don't know if any other content creator has mentioned this or has put videos out of this, like the math ain't mathing. Because, like I said, if they were going to have kids as old as somebody who's going to be in their late teens, like 18, 19, early 20s, 2021, as it seems that Isabella May is, then they would have been mentioned in Scream 4. But they weren't. And we all sure as hell know that, especially in Scream 4, that Cindy going back to Woodsboro on the last part of her book tour, we all know, sure as hell know, that Mark Kincaid is not going to let his girlfriend, wife, or whatever go back to Woodsboro by herself without him or extra protection or whatever. You sure as hell know that he wouldn't allow that. You know, like, it just does not make sense. And not to have us, like, have it be official, say, oh yeah, after this and stuff, Mark and I connected and we dated, whatever. And now we have a couple kids that are, whatever. So far, we only have the two kids, or one or two kids in the stroller, plus one or two girls that are slightly older. We don't know exactly how old the older girls are from Scream 5 that we pretty much seen / heard of from Scream 5. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, like if you caught something after some rewatches, because I've only seen Scream 5 and Scream 6 a handful of times. I haven't rewatched those ones as much as I had like the first three movies, because I grew up with the first three movies. Like, the first three movies are my jam. Like, the original trilogy is, I'm a millennial, an elder millennial. Those are my jam. I grew up with those. I rented them from, Blockbuster and all that shit. So, anyways, in your recent rewatches and things like that, tell me in the comments what your opinions are, what you think will happen in Scream 3 and Scream 7. I honestly think that it makes the most sense, especially what we got from Scream 5 and Scream 6, that there is a big, cult of Ghostface. That just makes sense. Because we've had Richie and Amber and Jason and all of them from Scream 5 and 6 that, you know, it's inevitable that it's a Ghostface cult. Who do you think is going to be a part, or who is a part of that, or who is the big head macho? I am a Stu believer that somehow, Stu did survive, because if other people were able to survive so many times, like Cindy and Chad in 5 and 6, then so could Stu. And if you really think about it, and I've said this in past videos, that both Stu and even Jill could come back, I'm sure. Maybe it's Jill who's the head of the cult as well. Maybe them tag teaming, I don't know. But Stu had the big ass TV, heavy TV land on his head. Wasn't a gun. No, wasn't a bullet go through the head, but it was a TV on the head. So technically, by the logic of these movies, you have to have a bullet through the head. And he had a TV on his head. And then even in Scream 5, Scream 6 actually, where even Kirby's like, oh, if you even believe he's dead, because he had the TV across his head. And then Jill, like in Scream 4, she didn't have a bullet go to her head. She was shot, sure, but in the chest, but she wasn't shot in the head. She was shocked in the head. So again, with that logic, neither were shot in the head with a bullet. They were either dunked on the head with a TV or electrocuted in the head. Neither were bullets. So that could be it. Maybe Jill survived and she went to a mental hospital, swore she doesn't remember anything, and maybe eventually learned and relearned memories and things like that. Same with Stu. Maybe the cops, since Stu was freaking filthy rich, maybe he paid off the cops, and without Dewey knowing, since they were paid a pretty penny, maybe the cops didn't tell Dewey. And maybe Stu's parents paid the police off to, say that he died when he didn't. So I guess we'll have to wait for Scream 7 to find out. I'm excited. Like, even though I don't like what they did with the characters of the new characters with the Carpenter sisters and even Cindy and Chad, the Meek twins, because, like, as much as I'm loving the Meek twins, one of them, or both of them, should have died. Should have died with how many times they've been stabbed. in both 5 and 6. Like, out of the two, I do love them both equally. But I think that, and I know a lot of people have thought this as well, that Mindy should have died on the subway, and maybe even her brother should have died with how many freaking stabs he got. Um, Especially the double with in Scream 6 with the double stab. But anyways, again, comment down below what your thoughts are. If there's a Ghostface cult, if you think that what your thoughts are on McKenna Grace should have been the daughter, or if you're okay with Isabella May. And correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying Isabella May is correct. Her name is correct. I may be saying it incorrectly, or if that's not her actual her name. But anyway, just comment down below what you think and what your thoughts are, and what you'll be more excited to do. See. But like I said, I didn't really like the Carpenters, how did the Dirt Girls dirty with the Carpenter sisters. It's all Spyglass, of course. It did not have anything to do with Melissa Barrera. She was just voicing her opinion, as everyone should have their own opinion and be able to voice it. This is America, for God's sake. We should be able to speak our mind. But anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I just babble on, and I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your day. And it's almost Thanksgiving, so I hope that you guys have a great Thanksgiving. Bye. Talk to you soon.